I'm ready when you are.
Okay, cool. All right, we are live everywhere. I'll send you a little request there. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Wow, wow, wow. And we have not done this podcast in almost 3 weeks now. Oh, there's Daniel. Andrew and the Human Resolve. Savio's here. Oh, how awesome. It's so good to see you, Savio. And Mr. Tackett.
And why haven't we done it in 3 weeks, Ben? Why haven't we done it with
We
three
have
weeks?
not been here
Should
for
we
three
tell them?
weeks. I think we should tell them.
We should
Good
tell them
morning,
what they
Ethan.
missed.
Welcome
Good
to our Wake Up
morning.
Wednesdays.
It's
So, for those of you who
great to
don't
be
know, we've
back.
had this podcast going for over a year now, right? Daniel Conversations
Hmm.
every Wednesday for your potential.
Yeah,
And
bless
for the
you.
last 3 weeks, we took a break. So, tell them, Daniel. Tell them what we've been up
Well,
to.
well, we had a brilliant, divinely inspired idea to create what we called the integrity tune-up. And the integrity tune-up was a 21 days, $21, 21 minutes, a
A day.
program that exactly every single day. And so for the last 21 days, Ben and I and about 20 amazing, amazing, amazing beings showed up to play and to participate and to go through this amazing, amazing process of awareness, of allowance, of change, of creation, of power, and of stepping into a new level of integrity within themselves. And it was just, I don't know about you, Ben, but I personally, I had such a huge, huge, huge transformation. It was amazing. Savio, how are you, brother? So good to see you. Yeah, I had
So,
such a huge transformation. I thought I was like, wow, this is like so freaking cool that, we had this inspiration to share it with everybody else, and we had this inspiration to go with this. But, I always say the creator always gives me what I need to teach. What I
that's
need
right.
to creator tells me to what to teach so that I can actually like work on myself. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Yeah, I totally hear that. And I think we're presented with what we need, right? There's a guy that reached
Hmm.
out to me today on Instagram, and
Yeah.
he's called the Gratitude Dude, and he has like 46,000 followers. And he said, I think there's a reason why I stumbled upon your profile. We should talk. And um, and I was thinking, yeah. So he said we should talk in the new year, I think. And I said, you think? Yeah, I believe the universe brings us exactly where we need to be.
Yeah.
And
At exactly the right
Daniel,
time.
yes. And Daniel and I, if you're willing to receive it, right? If you're willing to see it. And Daniel and I have been, oh, there's so many wonderful people here with us today.
Hi,
Glad we got all the
Kara.
family coming live today.
Oh my God. I love you.
It's why we do this live every
That's
Wednesday.
right.
It's great. And so we really got to create, we decided what do we feel like we need? What do we feel like the world needs? People are looking for before the holidays. And we just talked about integrity tuning up and what that means and why, and how we can actually tune up our integrities for the better of all humanity in the world, especially ourselves, and
Yes.
looking at what integrity means. I know for some of us it can be a scary word. One thing that came up for us because it was like bad, and if you don't have integrity, you're out of integrity, right?
Yeah.
So we really looked at the lightness of integrity and when you're in alignment with yourself and what that looks like. And one of the biggest parts of integrity for me that I really see out in our culture everywhere, especially American culture, and probably culture everywhere today due to technology, and that is self care. We are working
Absolutely.
longer hours than we've ever worked in our entire lives because of technology. We've integrated technology in such an amazing way that we can be productive while we sleep. But unfortunately, we're also being stimulated more than ever. And a lot of the burnout we have is just leading to honestly looking at social media, all these stimulations we have too much. We have a crash and burn, we have all these temporary highs. And inside of this 21-day integrity journey, Daniel flew 33 hours across the world to
Hmm.
Bali, where he is now.
That's
So
right.
one of the reasons I love Daniel, and I was just saying this before, is my wife and I travel so much and do so many things that we love that we actually never officially took our honeymoon to Bali. And we've been talking about it for 3 years and when are we going to schedule it? But we've got so much travels, and then Daniel just goes and he's there for a month. And I've been
Exactly.
thinking about Daniel, um, what it must be like for you to switch to the other side of the world and show up for so many people. Like you're literally the last 2 hours of your waking life is spent with working with clients, and then you wake up first thing, right? And then you're working
Yeah,
again like 6 to 9 a.m. and 6 to 9
totally.
p.m. But then you have this day. So I'm just thinking, like, what's the life of Daniel like there? And
It's interesting.
how do you, wait, this is a question I want to ask you too. How do you take
Hmm.
care of yourself when you're traveling like that, when you're showing up? How do you lead programs and go travel where you want to and take care of yourself and show up for others? That's what I
Wow,
want to
that
talk about today.
that is amazing. That is an amazing question, and it's definitely been something that we have really, my partner is here with me, that Guillermo and I have really, really looked at. Guillermo is he especially he needs a lot of TLC from himself, right? His
Mm,
recovery, he's like he doesn't bounce back from jet lag and all those things as quickly and easily as I do,
mm,
and it takes them a little bit longer to kind of get into it, to kind of settle. And for me, it's I'm not gonna lie, it takes a few days to get acclimated, but man, when I land, I am ready to go. I am ready to go. I have this ability to be able to switch my time zones and my this and my that, and especially when I'm in Asia, because it's nearly the opposite of what I'm used to back in the States. It's like all of a sudden I take all of my morning clients are now my evening clients, and then there's a gap during the day that I don't see anybody because I'm sleeping. I actually block off in my iCal where people book me my rest, so nobody can bother me during this hour and this hour. Exactly, nobody can even book me during that time. However, I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning here because I feel fresh and ready. Like I don't even wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning in Mexico where I live, but I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm fresh. I'm ready. I'm there. And I have my morning, and I have my morning in for about 3 hours. I have sessions. And then I really, really take some time to relax. You won't be able to see it on Facebook, but this is the pool that's in my villa. Those of you who are on Instagram, and this is my villa. This is my home. This is my home for the next month and a half. And I have been
you have a
utilizing
private
that pool.
pool in your
I have
home.
a private
This is
pool in my
amazing where
villa. Isn't that
you're
amazing?
leading this podcast today.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
for those of you who are struggling with life, figuring out what are we doing,
Yeah. Totally.
right?
And
When you could be living in your private villa in Bali temporarily
you
and
could be. That's right.
serving the world and yourself.
That's right. And enjoying
Okay. Okay,
yourself. And
Daniel, I see
enjoying
you.
yourself. You see? Exactly. And it's really, honestly, Ben, it's about making a choice. It's
Mm,
really about making a choice,
mm,
and really allowing yourself to recognize that even though you make a choice, there's always another choice. If you don't like that choice, and you can
mm,
make another choice. There's always a choice. you
mm.
know
Yeah.
we were today, for example, which I listen, when you guys come to Bali, you're gonna freak out. And there's this little village called Changdu, and it is where all the surfers go. Okay, like literally, we Chengdu is 3 hours, or I'm sorry, not 3 hours, 3 miles from where we are now.
Oh my
Okay, we're
God.
we're in
I can't
Seminyak.
wait.
It's 3 hours, 3 miles
Miles.
away, and it took us an hour to get there because of all the traffic, right?
All the
And
surfer
so
traffic, all the beach
all
traffic.
the traffic, all the beach traffic, and all the roads are narrow here, and there's
Mm,
gazillions of motorbikes. And I just had this awareness, like, there's a part of me that could be like, you know what? Screw it. Let's just go somewhere else or go someplace closer. And I relaxed into it, and I was like, you know what? I'm cool. I can sit here and I can actually write on my phone, and I can do this and I can do that. So to answer your question, I find ways to nurture and nourish myself with self-care no matter what. I don't allow myself to get anxious. I don't allow myself to get frustrated or angry. I just say, "Hey, you know what is available for me? I'm this Uber ride. It's called Grab here in Indonesia, but this Grab ride is going to take me an hour. It's going to
Mm.
take me an hour to go 3 miles. All right, what can I do in that hour? And a part of that hour I slept. I Another part of that hour I wrote. Another part of that hour I was on my phone. But really, with the conscious awareness that I don't have to do anything, but I have the opportunity to do anything. And once I realize I can do anything, then that also includes and is very, 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 very important that I can choose to take care of myself. So it's
Yes.
about awareness. You know what I mean? It's about really, really injecting the consciousness and the awareness, I think.
Yeah, I love that. My buddy
Yeah.
Glenn Silver on Instagram said that Long Island Expressway doesn't seem so bad.
It's true. It's very,
And
very true.
No Limit Left, which also said, seems there's never enough time in the day. And so Daniel, I want to reflect on a couple things you said. One of the things, choice, I really heard.
Hmm.
That's powerful. It's almost like uncomfortable for me to talk about that my wife. It's almost inauthentic for me to say that my wife and I haven't scheduled our honeymoon because we
Right.
just haven't chosen it.
That's right.
We choose to spend so much time together all the time that we're literally like, I don't know, we're pretty good. Like we have coming up, we're going to Tennessee and Washington and Costa Rica and Mexico all in the next
Hmm.
6 weeks.
Right.
So we're like, after that, I think we want to come home for a little while, which is new for us, practicing grounding.
And
Um,
I think also you've got to recognize, we have to recognize and realize that just because we make a choice or we say we're going to make a choice doesn't necessarily mean you have to stick to the choice.
that
All
was the
right.
other thing I was thinking about.
Who
Yeah,
cares? So you plan to go to Bali for your honeymoon, yet now I think you bought a property in Costa Rica, you're going to
we did.
Mexico, you're going to Nashville. I mean, come on. Let's be a little bit
Yeah.
kinder to ourselves, Benjamin.
No, exactly. Well, that's why I'm
Kinder.
bringing it up is that look at
Yes.
how we're talking to ourselves. Like one of the gifts was I was asked to officiate my first wedding ever, and that was with my friend Ethan, who's actually was live this morning, and I felt like that was such a gift. After having lost my father to the physical world a couple of years ago, the holidays still really bring up a lot of grief for me, and I really feel his physical absence because this
Wow.
is when my whole body and mind was like, we're gonna go see my dad, and he and I would
Yeah.
get really excited, and we'd go to church together because I grew up in the church with him, and Cassie and I would sing songs for all the people at his assisted living, and it was like a reason to go to Atlanta, but it was also an extra city on our stop. So it took something, So there's some relief there too. So that's all part of the grief space. But one thing I noticed as we were leading a 21-day integrity challenge is that getting up every 7 days a week and doing something no matter what because you said you would
Hmm.
created such a profound shift for me, and it was like subtle yet profound. Like I really felt my life move into motion, and
Yeah.
what I saw, the only difference was that that we chose to do this no matter what, and the
That's
universe
right.
actually worked its way around it. In fact, you were on a plane for because you're on a plane for more than 24 hours. Actually, you were on a plane for two of those days. So we even
Hmm.
created having a co-guest in place. And
That's right.
I gained more time in my day as I took on a new commitment in my life. Now,
Yeah.
that seems so counterintuitive, but what I want to point at is that when you choose powerfully,
Hmm.
the universe bends around it and creates what you need. So if you need more time in your day, where are you not choosing yourself? Where are you giving away hours? Or
Hmm.
maybe just looking at how we're spending our time. There's an opportunity to get really creative and fun. And I know a lot of people have felt like going through struggling times. Now's not the right time to get a coach or a healer. Like, I've got to wait for later. I've got too much going on. It's like now's the exact time when you can ask for help. Because, oh, and people have said, well, I don't have time for that, right? But if we're not making time for ourselves, we're going to make time. I always say, if you don't make time for your wellness, you're going to make time for your illness.
That's
So
right.
part of self-care I've noticed for Daniel too, I believe, is doing what you love, is traveling to these places.
Absolutely.
is giving yourself
100%.
this gift of just going. And you know, that may not be for everyone. We can say, wow, you're always traveling the world, but consider that if you have that dream, that you're the only one stopping yourself from doing it,
Absolutely.
right? That
You
you could
mentioned
actually quit
something.
your job and choose differently. You really
Yeah,
could. You could
of
do whatever you
course.
want and go get a whole new job in Bali.
Oh my God, dude! When we were having lunch today, we were having lunch at this place that's right on the beach, where you can sit almost like terrace style, and you can look out and see everybody surfing. And I swear, I looked around me in the restaurant, and probably there were probably about 50 people on their laptops, and
Hmm.
it's really, really, really this. It really is a digital nomad mecca, right? Because it is so cheap here. It is so cheap here, and it's so accessible. And because it is a destination spot like that, they've made all of those things that are necessary for you to have a successful business happen, remotely.
Wow.
But what I wanted to address was what you said about how I was going to be away for 2 days during the integrity tune up. There was a time and space, Ben, where I would have said, no, I can't do that integrity tune up because I'm going to miss those 2 days. Right. And
Mm.
I want to point that out because that for me was also something that was really important for me to look at and recognize that for me to be in integrity with my original plan, and also that I can also be in integrity with all the rest of my plans, because there's always a way, guys. We're the ones who create the blockages. We're the ones who create the challenges. We're the ones who decide that we can't do this because of that, the negotiation of it all. But that's not really the way the universe works. That's the way your ego works. Your ego works from a place that says, well, if I'm missing 2 days, what is it going to be like for everybody else? Well, Becky took it, stepped in, and freaking stepped in, gave her medicine, was powerful and great. And how does it get even better? So there's always a way. There's always a way. So, what can we do about that? What can you do about it? Where in our lives are you not allowing yourself to make your dreams a priority because you've decided that there's not enough time, or there's not enough space, or there's not enough
Mm.
money, right?
Mm.
Instead, let's just choose it.
Mm. I love this conversation, Daniel. Well, I want to give people an opportunity to really choose something to put themselves into for self care for the holidays. I
Yeah.
have created a personal, like from 20 years of basically personal research and experiential and all of my studies, I put together all of my favorite self-care tools into a 7 module course that I am selling for. It's $1,000 course, but I'm selling it this week for $77. And it's
Amazing.
designing your own self-care toolkit to get a line on your self-care, and it's called Treat Yourself, and it's
Mm,
about self-care for the holidays, really how to create healthy boundaries, how to put yourself first, how to gain more time in your day, how to love yourself more, and how to so that you can show up for others, and really how to have non-negotiable, powerful, and joyous integrity with yourself around self-care, treating yourself. So we put our other people in our lives first all the time. We're so trained to do that, and anything about me is selfish, or I need to go create a self-care day. You
yeah,
may not live to tomorrow. The
that's right.
holidays come and go. Life comes and goes. Our next breath isn't promised. So if you are tired of having the conversation with yourself about your own self care, I invite you, or give yourself this gift or someone you love, to come into this course. It's 7 days. I'm going to be live every day for 7 days, and then it's recorded for a lifetime. So you can use these tools, and it comes with a guide. So I really want to encourage you all to take this up, and it's going to go up next week to $88 and then $99 to life. So this week only, it's 20% off.
That's
So
awesome.
it goes live next week's, but you can get it today. So just click the link. We have it in our all here. It's in my profile if you're on Instagram.
Also on my Instagram too. So
Oh,
Ben's
thank
program
you,
is on mine,
Daniel.
of
Oh,
course.
cool. And
So I
then
want to
tonight,
actually,
okay, you
yeah,
want to talk about that?
I just want to say something about that, Ben, because again, we're talking about choice here and how we actually choose things and we don't choose things. again, there would have been a time and space where I would have said, I don't know if that time works for me, Ben. So I'm not sure that I can sign up for that. Right.
Mm.
And I want to point this out because I realized how many opportunities I missed with incredible teachers, incredible coaches, incredible people that I wanted to learn from that I didn't because I was too caught up in well, I'm not going to be a great student. I'm not going to be there showing up live. I'm not going to be there with my pin and be the teacher's pet. Right. And so, guys, allow yourself to recognize and realize that this is yours. This is your life. So if you do choose this program, and it's totally up to you, Ben and I don't give a shit whether you do or not, but if you do and you choose it, then you get to decide how you want to consume it. You get to decide how you want to use it. And how does it get any better than that? Put no judgments and no restrictions on yourself. Allow yourself the space to choose that medicine to work for you. And don't, all those excuses that come up about the time or the money or the this or the that, ask yourself, is this really light for me? Are these excuses light for me? If they're light for you, they're true. But if they're heavy, if those excuses are heavy, it's a lie. So what can you
Mm.
choose that would make it light for you?
Mm. I love that. Keep it light. I
Keep
love
it
it.
light, man.
And
Keep it
if you
light.
want a space to shine your light a little brighter and set your intentions in motion today for
Hmm.
Daniel's tomorrow, Daniel's getting up extra, extra early for us to lead us here the
That's
night
right.
before Thanksgiving on this hemisphere and a new moon meditation this evening. And so we've put the sign up for that. You can get that right now and come join us tonight.
Yeah. It's
You want to share
very,
about
very,
that, Daniel?
very exciting energy, by the way, guys. Like energetically, the new moon of Sagittarius, which happens today, is really the most. To give you a little preview of what we're going to really do tomorrow is just expect miracles. What would be the worst thing if you just expected miracles? If you expected miracles in your life, if you saw miracles in your life, if you witnessed miracles, if you acknowledged the miracles and you allowed yourself to be the space to receive even more miracles, the month of Sagittarius is the month of miracles, and all of the traumas and the dramas and the heaviness and all that crap we've been dealing with for the last 3 months, it's about to completely ease up. And the next, I would say, 4 to 6 weeks are going to be some of the most awesome 4 to 6 weeks full of everything you want. Don't miss the opportunity to set your intentions. Don't miss the opportunity to grab hold of that energy to make it work for you instead of against you. And how can we have more fun? So come play with us.
That sounds amazing. Yes.
Yes.
Your private pool turned on just in time.
Exactly.
It's
And
telling you.
the rains, here in Bali, it's monsoon season.
Oh,
So
that's
they're
rain.
so yeah, so the rains come and they're like, I mean crazy, 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 crazy
Wow,
rain.
I can
Yeah.
hear it. It's incredible. That came
Isn't it
just as you
magical?
were like, you closed that thought and it was like, it's
Exactly.
awesome.
I love it.
We'll see you all there. Thank you. Have a great day. And don't
Thank you
forget to
guys.
subscribe to our Wake Up Wednesday podcast. If you like what you're hearing, there's lots more there. So come join us and we'll see you for our
Come
next
join.
episode.
Thanks